Kaapi with the yogi. We have with us yet another yogic stalwart, the Dronacharya of the yoga field, the yoga scientist, Dr S N Omkar with us. On behalf of all the Yoga Mitras and Know Your Yoga channel, I welcome Dr S N Omkar for this show. Welcome, Doctor.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for coming to us.
Namaste, namaste. My namaste to all the viewers.
Thank you so much. Before we go into today's discussion, we shall just see a small audio visual.
Omkar is a very fine yoga teacher and has worked with many sportsmen over the years. He's personally worked with me for many years now, and his stretchings have benefited me. I think they benefited. Omkar is a very fine yoga teacher and has worked with many sportsmen over the years. He's personally worked with me for many years now, and his stretchings have benefited me. I think they benefited. Omkar is a very fine yoga teacher and has worked with many sportsmen over the years. He's personally worked with me for many years now, and his stretchings have benefited me. I think they benefited. Omkar is a very fine yoga teacher and has worked with many sportsmen over the years. He's personally worked with me for many years now, and his stretchings have benefited me. I think they benefited. Omkar is a very fine yoga teacher and has worked with many sportsmen. Many years now, and his stretchings have benefited me. I think this benefited Omkar.
I think there was a technical problem with the audio.
Yeah.
Should we start back again, Manjunath? Okay, we will continue with the discussion. That was a wonderful, session where we had the wonderful cricket stalwarts of our nation were very proudly sharing about their Guruji, their yoga Guruji, Dr. Omkar, who is with us. And to the field of yoga, to the community of yoga, I don't have to introduce Dr. S N Omkarji, who is very well known through the wonderful yoga sessions that he had been conducting, the research that he has done, and also the media series, the television series, the number of books that he has authored. He is known for what are the contribution that he has done for yoga. But other than that, what is more important is he continues to be the senior research scientist at the Department of Aeronautics at the Indian Institute of Science. Indian Institute of Science is one of the prestigious science institutes in this country. In fact, one of the first two we started, and we have a proud to say that it was based on Swami Vivekananda's inspiration that Jamshedji Tata had started the Tata Institute, and Dr. S N Omkar had been serving there for decades together as a senior research scientist, the head of the aeronautics there. And along with that, he had developed the passion in yoga, and now for more than 4 decades, he had been pioneering in the field of yoga, and not only in yoga teaching, but also in the field of yoga research, that he had contributed number of yoga research papers in peer-indexed journals. And not only that, he had been regularly conducting classes. I don't know, it could be thousands and thousands of people who would have been benefited. If I'm right, he had conducted hundreds of camps, especially for students. The Surya camp, which is students upliftment regeneration through yoga, the Surya camps, Doctor has conducted a number of places, which would also be hundreds of such camps. And to my remembrance, the number of TV shows that he had done goes up to 5,000 shows. And other than that, the number of books he had authored, the camps he had conducted, I can keep on telling all those. Instead, we would hear from Dr. S N Omkar sir, who is with us. He is a Yogacharya, Yoga Ratna, he is a Yoga Dronacharya, and many awards, the Karnataka State Award, National Awards, and whatnot. It's a big list that he had achieved. And to all this glory, what he had got, I'm sure he always attributes to his Guruji, who is none other than the Yoga Bhishma Pitamaha, Dr. BKS Iyengar. And ever since we have started this series for the past 10 days, in a way, directly or indirectly, Guruji has touched upon the lives of great many yoga stalwarts. Dr. S N Omkar was blessed enough to be with him, learn directly from him, and what more than that. And he is continuing the legacy for sure, continuing the legacy of Guruji for sure. And therefore, we are going to have many inputs today from Dr. S N Omkarji. Once again, on behalf of all of you, I welcome, sir.
Thank you, Subu bhaiya. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
I have a problem. I have a problem always. Only my introduction will go for 1 hour actually. So,
That
so
is
much
nice
I,
of,
you know, whatever
very
I know
nice of
about,
you.
so much I know about, you know, you that I would inspire to. In fact, I'll come to the other aspects. While we are discussing, I'll bring about
Yes,
the
yes,
other dimensions,
yes,
what I know about
yes,
you for the
yes.
benefit of the viewers.
Very true, very true. I am also a practitioner like you all, and I always feel there is lot to do, and well, we are carrying on like all other practitioners in our own way, and hope the transmission is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody is able to see, or
Yes.
okay.
Manjunath, is it being carrying forward the live?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
yes, I could see. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
I would like to start from here.
Yeah.
You are, you know, playing kind of a dual role. One as a scientist of, you know, esteemed aeronautical engineering department there at the prestigious institute. You know, you would, it's not like that, just like that. It's something very important role that you're playing there. And at the same time, you are a very active yogacharya, you know, who are equally, you are giving your, you know, presence in the field of yoga also. You are somebody who had made a stamp in the field of yoga. So when you are, you know, carrying this, both the things, and I'd like to know, how do you balance between both these, both the scientific career, what you have, as well as the field of yoga? You know, to ask, just to be precise, for example, in facing challenges in your profession, what you are having, the full-time profession, can you recollect any instances when you have stopped and thought, how would I solve this in a yogic way? Or do they always run in unison together? What is your scenario?
It is very true. I think both actually help each other.
Wow.
You know, the background of yoga will definitely make you a better scientist, and that scientific background will make you know better about yogic science.
Wow.
So they have been helping. And in fact, long back, you know, when I wanted to first project about this yoga technical project I got from ISRO. Strangely, what happened, there was some call for proposal from our space technology cell. Next day was the last date. So I didn't know what to propose. I thought, okay, because they will support various kind of projects. The problem of stability in humans is a very important thing for astronauts. And because I have three labs with me in the IISc. One is about the drones. For drones, we mount several accelerometers to measure their acceleration, etc. How quickly they change their position, etc. Suddenly, when I was getting into my vehicle, it flashed to me, why don't I fix it to a human and measure the stability? So next day I proposed that project, I got that project. And that became a beginning. So now we have a well-established yoga and biomechanics lab at IISc also.
Wow.
Because department is very open. They support any creative thoughts and ideas. Therefore, we also have a yoga and biomechanics lab. So to answer your question, how yoga helps science, science helps yoga. So we have a 8 camera motion capture system and the EMG sensors for muscle activity. And you can go to my website. We have been able to publish quite a number of journal publications through this. And we invariably have presented in various conferences on these findings. So I think it's been a good journey to carry both. I don't see it as difficult, but it is actually helpful. It lessens the burden in my profession and helps to get more insight in the yoga.
Wow. That's wonderful, sir. That is amazing to see that, you know, both go hand in hand, you know.
Absolutely.
I think that is the way that the modern generation is looking forward in taking science and spirituality together, yoga and science together.
Yes. I think there is a big move, especially, but what we find is the amount of research grants that are spent in countries like USA is quite huge compared to what we do in India. Now the trends are changing, and I hope more and more researchers will really take active role in uh, establishing the yoga as a science.
Yes. Wow, I think that's amazing, sir. One thing I would like to know, so you are somebody who did your professional qualification of engineering, then your master's and PhD, that is something which is going on. So when did you take your interest in yoga? How did you land up to Guruji and started your yoga journey?
Yoga, I think it was way back in my childhood days.
Wow.
My mother's father, uh, he was actually doing some simple things. He used to sit in Padmasana. I think that made an impression on me. And I used to do, those days we had this, there is one Kannada magazine called Prajamata. So that used to be there those days. Somebody used to write a column on yoga there. So I just used to see that and practice. Then that interest I kept on, and later I joined Rashtrottana. My first teacher was Sri H.S. Arun.
Okay.
So I learned from him. Then BKS Iyengar visited, Guruji visited Bangalore. Sri Ajit Kumar was very instrumental in getting Guruji BKS. Then
I think that was for many people from Karnataka, to get connected to.
It was a big opening.
Yes.
And somehow, I don't know, God's grace, he was kind enough, Guruji, for some of us. And we went there, and because when we were all students those days, we did not have much money.
True.
So we just used to go. He used to make us stay in their institute. He has given room. Many times he has given food. This is very common. So he used to teach us. Morning we used to attend the class. Then afternoon he used to practice. Then also he used to call us. So we were really blessed. Some 4 or 5 of us, we used to regularly go there, and we were really blessed. That's how we could really observe quite a lot. And whenever he was in Bangalore, we used to have a lot of discussions, and that inspired me to write a biography of Guruji. In fact, is during this 100th year, we did release BKS Iyengar's biography in Kannada, English, and Hindi.
Wow.
He is a great source of inspiration, not only to me, but as you rightly said, many others all over the world. In fact, he is a great inspiration even today. So
there are many Ekalavyas who just read Guruji's books, who practice, and then they become yoga practitioners.
Absolutely.
Whereas you have been blessed to be an Arjuna under Guruji.
I don't know. That is really Purva Janma Punyam.
Yes. So, great teachers like Guruji are always an inspiration. But they also often take on a personal avatara in individual students' minds. So what is Guruji BKS Iyengar's avatara in your mind, sir?
Well, one thing is that he was a very strict teacher.
True.
I have never seen anybody like that. And, sometimes he used to call us on the stage, and he wouldn't like any, upper garments.
True.
You have to take it out, and he used to tell us to do Trikonasana or something. Then he used to immediately call people to explain. He used to do, until then you cannot come out. That's the problem.
You have to be there.
You have to be there. We used to sweat, and if you come out, you will have it. Because that is the kind of grip he had over the entire class. Let there be 50 people, let there be 500 people. That his very presence was so, like a lion being there. He was a yoga lion. And he used to hit us hit us with a purpose, not just hitting for the sake of hitting. The way he will hit, the direction with he will hit, that is actually going to bring some correction in your posture without your own knowledge.
Wow.
He will hit the muzzle in such a way. So that is something amazing. In fact, used to say that BKS, when he went abroad, actually, in fact, I have recorded this in my book on BKS. He used to always, they used to tell BKS means beats, kicks, and shouts. And then later, they themselves wrote after years that BKS stands for beauty, kindness, and
serenity or
serenity. That's right. So that's how we used to transform everybody. And when it comes to yoga, that's what, no compromise. That is it. Whoever it may be, no compromise. I think that is something that has impressed me a lot. He was hardcore when it comes to yoga. So that is something amazing. That kind of a commitment, not only to practice, because even in 90s he used to practice, we have seen him, and even translating his practice to teaching.
Wow.
That is something amazing. He never used to simply teach something which he never experienced or practiced. He was that way a true translator, practice to teaching. So that is something truly amazing with him. That is what really has impressed. And because of that impression, I always feel small, humble, when I remember the kind of commitment and dedication he had for practice. That makes me even today humble.
Wow.
Somewhere, we have not reached that.
Very true.
Yeah.
And that's where the Shastra says that Guru is a Brahma, is a Vishnu, is a Maheshwara. He brings a new person out of us, the transformation.
Absolutely.
And sustains whatever that we have learned. We should have that rakshanam, that sustenance is also important as a Vishnu, and takes out all the bad elements, ego, and then brings the new transformed personality in the student.
True. And the beauty of BKS Guruji is that he was very direct in telling us. Many times he has told, hey, again parla hoga. So he never minded. Trikonasana we are doing. Where is this Trikonasana? Why? You are a teacher. What do you teach? You yourself don't know. All that he used to tell direct on your face. He never used to mix words.
You
we
are,
really, whenever our friends, myself, Muralidhar, Madhav, whenever we meet, we recollect all our experiences even today. It's so vivid in our mind. He was such a wonderful teacher.
I think that way, Bangalore, especially, Karnataka as such overall, and Bangalore, many teachers are blessed to have direct association with Guruji, to learn directly from him.
Yes.
Compared to any other place, I think this is some boon that we all had.
Very true.
You have been, teaching for more than 4 decades, and lot many students come to you. They come with various needs. For some, it could be a kind of a therapeutic need. For some, it could be a kind of, it's an exercise. So practice of asana seem to, fall into 2 boxes, either as an exercise or a healing of health problems. How do you help your students to, think out of this box?
Well, actually, what we do is we just don't teach only asanas.
True.
Every day for the therapy session, we have breathing and meditation and some knowledge tips based on Bhagavad Gita Upanishads. Every month, last Sunday, we have discourses. In fact, from past 15 years, we have finished Bhagavad Gita, we have completed Tattva Bodha. Now we are doing Saddarshanam Bhagavan Ramana's. And many other major events like Ramanavami, Shankara Jayanti, and my most revered Guru, Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, Mahaperiyava of Kanchi, his birthday, all these things.
I think we just had last week the Mahapariva Jayanti.
Oh, yeah. Mahaperiyava Jayanti was there. So all these, some discourses we keep so that it will enrich us from inside. So we are trying to provide a holistic approach to yoga. It's asanas, yes, definitely is there, but we don't miss on the other parts as enunciated by sage Patanjali. We have definitely equal amount of bearing on yama, niyama, and other divisions of other steps in Ashtanga Yoga. So we really try to ensure that we go in the framework of sage Patanjali. Wow. To the best of course, our knowledge.
Very true, sir. But you were mentioning about sage Patanjali, and we all revere Patanjali as the main profounder of the Yoga Sutras, and always start with the reverence to Patanjali by chanting the verses to him. And always, when it comes to yoga, it has been always Yoga Sutra. But yoga, yes. We see that it just started even before Patanjali. Patanjali, of course, I think codified.
Yes. You see, yoga was there; it was in amorphous form. So Patanjali's greatest contribution is he gave a crystalline form, he gave a framework, he gave a scientific methodology. For example, today we have umpteen number of meditation techniques, and if somebody sits and analyzes, they all fall in the framework of Patanjali. There is nothing Patanjali has not covered.
Wow.
Only thing that has happened is people have picked up somewhere from some other levels, but Patanjali gives a solid foundation how to really build up your mind, where you will, even with respect to the mind, his sutras will give us a fail-safe approach.
Wow.
Nobody can fail, because we see a lot of meditation techniques. People sometimes they do come to me and say, I am meditating from 10 years, 20 years, but somehow I'm not finding whatever
good results,
calmness of the mind, etc. But let me tell you, that is simply because they're jumping steps.
True.
But Patanjali has codified in such a wonderful way that if somebody follows his footsteps, I am sure the end goal, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, is possible for everyone. Nobody is at disadvantage, provided we follow his methodology.
Wow.
I would consider this is the greatest contribution of sage Patanjali. Wow. Where that is why we call it as science. Patanjali is a spiritual scientist, spiritual mathematician.
Wow.
Spiritual scientist because his method is repeatable, which means anybody goes through that will reach that ultimate place. Mathematician because he is very precise and concise. He doesn't mix words. There is no cause for ambiguity. If you look at it in a very simple way, Patanjali Yoga Sutras are very, very simple. In fact, they are common sense codified.
Wow. I think that is where they say, a sutra is alpa aksharam asandiktam saravat vishwato
mukham. Yes. So that he has very successfully implemented that, and we must really, as you rightly said, we always prostrate to him while we begin or end any yoga sessions. But I think in the days to come, people should look at Yoga Sutras more seriously, especially serious practitioners of yoga should never miss. I'm sure most of us are doing, but I'm trying to re-emphasize that.
Very true, sir. Because most of our today's yoga classes, if you see, the majority of practice is focused on asanas. And when it comes to the Yoga Sutra, which is 195, sometimes it's 196 in some versions,
Yes.
Whereas many teachers themselves feel that, wow, Patanjali has only written only 3 sutras on asanas. That too, there is no direct application of an asana, how you should do, or which even asana's name he has not mentioned. So this is one conception which is there even among the yoga teachers. I hear them speaking about it. So what is your say on this?
It is true. Say, just because there is 3 sutras doesn't mean that the importance is like that, that 3 divided by 196 into 100 percentage. No, it is not so. Asanas are really critical, there is no doubt. What Patanjali has given is some essence of asanas. He simply says, the Sthira Sukhamasana, the definition. Then he says, coming to the practice, he says, Prayatna Shaitilya Ananta Samapatti Bhyam. You should be able to, that your effort should cease and you should reach that infinity. And if you do that only, then the effect tatot bandvaha anabhigataha, you will be freed from all the dualities. It is true. Asanas, but we should remember that Patanjali's usage for asana is not something as we see today, like umpteen number of varieties that has later evolved. Like any field of science and technology evolves, yogic science has also evolved. That's how you see so many varieties of asana. True, we do respect it. There is no problem with practicing some asanas, so that we know that today undoubtedly they have a lot of health values. There is absolutely no doubt. But if you want to reach that very first state, second sutra, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, if you want to reach that state of mind, then just practice of asanas alone may not be sufficient. Wow. Because mind is a much more complex thing, because we have a lot of impressions or samskaras that are hidden, and you have to tackle that. And we are the people who definitely believe in reincarnation, punarjanma, and we know that a lot of samskaras are in us, and it is not easy to take out all those impressions, replace them with the right one. And if somebody says just through asanas we do that, I think it is a very far-fetched thought. It is not that way. So what Patanjali says is, look here, there is a methodology to do that, and he gives several options. He is not just draw one strict straight line and say this is all what you follow. He gives a lot of options, whatever suits you. He has all the components of your karma yoga, raja yoga, bhakti yoga, gnana yoga. All these components he has embedded, but he has embedded in a very systematic way. So therefore, take asanas, no doubt, but please note that that is not be all and end all of yoga. There is a broader spectrum. In fact, working with the mind is much more challenging than working with the body. And according to Patanjali, it is not body and mind, it is body-mind. It is one single unit. So today, even medicine agrees that, okay, anything that happens in the mind has an implication on your physical system. In fact, there are very extreme theories which say that the body is just a reflection of your chitta or the mind. All the problems start there, and body is only that where it manifests. You see that, but the origin is your own impressions or chitta, the mind stuff. And in this context, I think it is all the more essential to look at Patanjali very seriously, especially when he talks about the techniques of meditation, that he gives that very systematic approach, vitarka vichara, Ananda Asmita Rupa Anugamat Sampragnataha. So he deals with all these things in a very systematic way. I think it is very, very important to take a very scientific outlook about this, to conduct some experiments based on these things. I know there are challenges, but it is not something that is not doable, because we have a huge strength who are practicing yoga, who are interested in yoga. I think we should reach out to people so that we can conduct multiple trials on these things and try to find out. There are different ways of assessing. Some assessments can be based on some clinical findings, and some of the assessments can be simply based on some questionnaires for which you don't have to really spend too much. Anybody can do that.
Did you take any efforts of you being a person of science background, and you have been conducting various experiments?
Yeah, we have done. In fact, one Dr. Ambrish, who did his MD in MS Ramaya Medical College, he is a professor there. He did a PhD on yoga, and all the experiments were done at our Yoga Mandir. Wow. In fact, this is one of the largest sample study we have done. This is on finding out the inflammatory markers in long-term yoga practitioners. We have done on 229 yoga practitioners. Wow. These are the people who have been practicing for more than 5 years. We have published a very good journal paper on that, and we are getting a lot of citations on this paper. So his whole PhD was on that, to know what is this inflammatory markers, how yoga would help to contain them. So this is some very interesting work we have done. And the other work we have done on some related to cardiology. We have paper on that. Now we are also actively involved in Shankara Cancer Foundation. There we are
about to ask that.
Nandini is there. She is conducting yoga classes there regularly. We also go there, and we are doing some couple of small studies related to yoga, and some findings are already encouraging. Dr. Srinath at the hospital is very, very supportive for all these yoga studies. So there's a lot need to be done. In fact, lot more our yoga brothers and sisters should really take it up, apart from their teaching or practicing, something where we can all get together and conduct, as a huge team of researchers. That should happen. Otherwise, with the way the yoga research is going on elsewhere in the world, I think tomorrow means not just tomorrow, in the near future, yes, Patanjali's name may not be referred. It's the saddest thing. Already, if you read some of the recent journal papers, you can see that not many Indian names are quoted. So it looks as though that they have a upper hand on some of these areas of research. I think that we are not against them. We have no hatred, but this yoga is something that we have to be proud of. And all said and done, the world is changing. Now people look for numbers, figures, statistics. So we have to play for the world also. Therefore, we have the potential. Our very fact that we are born in India, we can understand some of these things better. Somehow it is all embedded in us, thanks to this great country. So we have that advantage, and it is high time that we use this advantage and re-establish the findings that yes, this is our knowledge, this is the greatest contribution of our sages to the whole world, and we should all really stand up and generate more results, and so that whole community is impressed about these things. So that needs to be done.
Very true. In fact, I was about to ask you about this. You, in a way, you yourself touched upon it. That when we see today, yoga has been taken world over. People are taking yoga, are practicing, and especially if you see in the Western countries, lot many interest, especially after Guruji took over, teaching yoga to the Westerners, especially after the scenario. So many people have sincerely taken interest. And for all the past few days when we have been interviewing all people, everybody had a great experience of going abroad and teaching to Westerners. Even they come here and they do it also. Somewhere
Correct.
we see that there is some kind of dilutions, all those things. For example, nowadays in some paper where pranayama was referred to as, Nadi Shuddhi was referred to as kind of cardiac rhythmic breathing or something, they try to substitute
Correct.
the Western
Correct.
names.
Correct.
In fact, asanas, sometimes what is happening, many people, just like that, it could be a, vrikshasana. So it is tree posture, bhujangasana, serpent posture, triangle posture.
Yes.
And
Several
that's
things.
okay to that extent. Even tree or something, it's a shape or structure of something. Whereas we have very profound names of, our Maharishis like Bharadwajasana or Vasishthasana or Gorakshasana, or sometimes it is, all these asana which are named after proper nouns. Veerabhadrasana is just like a warrior. Veerabhadra is a devata for us. It's a Shiva Gana. So
Very
people
true.
calling it as just a warrior posture, like this, all those which are happening. What do you say about it, sir?
Well, that such things are there. For example, what we call as when I was there sometime, they used to tell me W sitting. I was wondering what is it W sitting. Then I asked them, you do it. Then I found out that is Virasa.
Oh.
It looks like that. So these are the things that are happening there. But what is more serious issue is, one is of course the naming, some of the names which we are really attached to, as you rightly said. For example, Veerabhadrasana, for us it gives us a great feeling of a Shiva. But when you say warrior, it creates more of a feeling of a hatred rather than an avatara.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. When you say Veerabhadra avatara, is because to destroy the ego of Daksha.
And unfortunately, many of these people who are taking Guruji's light on yoga or something for the practice, he very clearly for every asana brings out the background. If it is Veerabhadrasana, who is Veerabhadra? What is it from the Purana, from everything? Guruji has cited very well there, and he never
very true.
He translates, like for example, if it's Vrikshasana, he has written Vriksha is a tree. He never equates Vrikshasana as a tree posture.
Correct.
It would,
So
in English, when you see.
This has been happening rampantly all through. In fact, in many of the big books, almost all our names have disappeared. But that is one thing. Now if you examine why it has happened, see, that's also, we should also wake up.
True.
Now why it has happened is because now today, even in medical books, yoga has become one of the chapters. First year medical students.
Wow.
Yoga, it is now official. In fact, I was involved in teaching some yoga at MS Ramaya Medical College also. Now, a lot of therapists use, a lot of physiotherapists also use yogic postures, a lot of doctors also, orthopedicians, everybody suggests of yoga. Now, what has happened is, we have called something as Trikonasana, let us say. Trikonasana. Now, there are so many variations of Trikonasana. And what the West is looking at is, what is the complexity of the posture? To be more specific, how many muscle groups are involved in this posture? So that's how they decide. So more the number of muscle groups, then it is more intense than try to suggest something else. So this is something that is missing in our approach. We have made it all mostly geometry based or appearance based, or as you rightly said, dedicated to one person. But now it is time to give appropriate stamp in terms of the terminologies which they can understand. So it is very essential to grade these postures, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, based on the number of muscle groups that are involved in a posture. So in fact, this work we have started in our lab to codify each posture to the language which the medical world and the Western mind can easily grasp. So then that connectivity will come, then they no need to actually give it another name. So they know this is what relates to this, because this information is also very essential. In fact, our lab has got a project from the Satyam Department of Science and Technology for this particular concept. So we are trying to look at, I think it's where all of us should really get together and try to understand from this aspect also, so that if they say that because this was not there, we have done something, we should be able to tell them, look, they have everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, please don't change. Whatever you want, we give. Once you make it a complete system, then for example, field of medicine you take, why it is so difficult? Because all Latin words they have. There is no English word. That is what makes the struggle. Why? Because that got established that way. Then nobody will simply change. You cannot today change. Rectus abdominis is rectus. So we can easily use other colloquial terms which most of us can understand. But that does not happen. The names are so difficult, tongue twisting, but still they stick to it because it has come as a standard code of practice. Like that, even yoga, you have to make it as a standard code of practice where the traditional knowledge plus the implication of this as applied to whatever their clinical studies or physiotherapical studies, etc., should be brought to books so that it becomes as one codified system. I think there is some work that we also need to do so that the comprehensive information about a posture is given.
Very true, sir. Wonderful. So apart from the scientific, side, the spiritual side, what we are discussing about Patanjali and all those things. So you have a very interesting facet of introducing yoga in the field of sports, especially in the cricket team. So you were also playing, were you interested in sports yourself so that you could understand, correlate how yoga works in sports?
No, not really. I was playing because all our childhood days was only playing. But I was in the village, so climbing the tree, jumping the tree, jumping, running, is all this bugri, lagori, goli.
All the balak kridas.
Yeah, balak kridas we have thoroughly enjoyed. In fact, that was our major bulk of life during those days. Cricket is some only street level we used to play. But it started with Brijesh Patel Clinic. Myself and Mr. Muralidhar, our friend, we both of us used to go there. Then Mr. Daljit Singh, one day he came there to see the class. He was the Ranji coach then for the Karnataka team. He saw me doing that. He said, "What is this you are doing?" I said, "This is some stretching yoga." Then he said, "Why don't you come to KSA?" He got me there. Then he introduced me to Kumble Srinath, Dravid, and our others. There they got interested. Then they all started practicing. Then when Ajit Wadekar, Indian team came, he said, "You can do, but we will not do anything officially. You be with the team. Whoever wants, let them do." Then when Kapil Dev also came, he also said the same thing. Be there. But when John Wright came, he said, "Oh, this is something very interesting." He came to our class also, Yoga Mandir, and he saw these teachings. He said, "Oh, this is something we will now make it formal." After he came, then it was every day 1 hour whenever there is camp in Bangalore. Every day in their hotel, morning 7 to 8, yoga was compulsory for everybody. And everybody enthusiastically participated. And I'm sure they also got benefited because that's the feedback I have. Then when Greg Chappell came, he also continued the same tradition. And till then it was there every day. And I think I have done about 20 camps for the Indian cricket team, a couple of camps from the Indian women cricket team, Indian blind players cricket team. So like that we were able to do. And well, that's how it went on.
Teach yoga to the normal cricket team is something fine, but even the blind cricket team, do you think that they were able to do yoga properly and then apply that also?
Well, yes, there are some challenges in teaching them because it is not something that you get onto a stage and you do and ask them to do. It is something that you have to really get into their shoes and try to attend to them more individually at a very personal level. But yes, they do understand, and teaching them is quite involved and very interesting. That also teaches you a lot of things.
Very true. In fact, the Atma Yoga, we have two such blind schools nearby. One is the Ramana Maharishi School of Blind nearby JP Nagar. We have the Premanjali, which is nearby. So some of our interns like Prabha, they all were going to
Very
these
great.
blind children. They were teaching, and their feedback was so amazing that they could easily. One thing is they could easily grasp what we teach, and once they've got something, they never leave it. They have the perseverance to practice.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
So, in your experience in teaching yoga for the cricketers, so I would like to put forth this kind of scenario where it's the last ball of the innings, 2 runs required, and the last batsman. So, which yoga technique should the last batsman, do to face the ball? And also this side, which yoga technique should the bowler use to bowl this last match, which is the last match deciding ball? So which yoga should he do?
Very first thing is Patanjali rightly says that any of the afflictions are bad, because I have also tried to put it across to many of the sports people. Like, many people believe that by disturbing or by using some, what you call as, what is that? I'm not getting that word where they, try to scold or tease the person under pressure, try to distract them. So such things they need not do. Actually, what really works is when the batsman is in such a situation, all that he has to do is what Patanjali calls it as samyama.
Wow.
Samyama means it is the dharana, dhyana, samadhi put together. You forget the batsman, you are the batsman, that is the bowler. It is on the ball and the bat. Don't even bother about the result. Because anything, if you are attached with the result, immediately you are tensed. So just look at the situation. No need, don't think about that I should win. I think these days, a lot of this, what they call as positive psychology, etc. So I think Patanjali has gone much beyond that. It is just you be with that situation, be relaxed, you forget your own self.
That's what it is.
That's it. And the same thing applies to the bowler also. There are no different techniques. And in fact, the best results, be it in sports, be it in science, and any platform of life, comes when the mind is in samyama, whether it is with your knowledge or without your knowledge. Many great scientific findings have come not when they are struggling with their pen and paper. When they have left everything relaxed, sometimes the mind goes into that wonderful state. That is when the truth of nature reveals. And this is true even in our materialistic world. One who is able to really come out of all this, whatever you call as that pressure situation, it is true, it looks like a pressure situation. And if you are looking at it as a pressure situation, there is no use of yoga. A yoga steps in to tell us, to make us fully aware that there is absolutely nothing called pressure.
Yeah, that is where like Krishna teaching, Gita to Arjuna.
Yes, absolutely. That is also a sense of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So that teaches us how to take life, and then things will fall in line.
But very nice to hear. But very nice to hear that, sir. But nice to hear that. But when it comes to that neck of the moment, so now how do we bring it into practice? We may have attended many classes before, we may have heard it, but at that point to apply it.
why? Now we should, this is a very great question you have asked. Why do you think this does not work?
Yeah.
The answer is very simple. This does not work because we have not gone through the process of chitta shuddhi. There are a lot of unnecessary, unwanted, rubbish impressions, and without handling that, if you simply say, I will do samyama, it will not work.
It will become some yama. It will become some yama.
Very true.
Not
Very
some
true,
yama,
very
but
true,
some
very true.
yama.
Very true. Very true. SYME. So that is why the preparatory things are very, very important. Patanjali also says, in fact, asana, pranayama, several other techniques he comes. That is all preparatory, so that you make the preparatory. In fact, if the preparation is good, results will be good. If you prepare your soil very well with proper manures, proper nutrients, proper flowing, then you don't have to actually struggle to put the seed very firmly and all that. You simply throw the seed, it will come up. So preparation is the most important part. This is what Adi Shankaracharya also says in Tattvabodha, sadhana chatushtaya, even for Vedanta, even for yoga, wherever. This is this preparation is very, very important. And if we do not prepare, and if we simply go to meditation, things like that, then mind will continue to boggle us, trouble us, and we will not really see the depth of what Patanjali is saying.
Very true.
So it is very, very important that we all go through the rigors. In fact, Tattvabodha, they very exclusively say, before you do anything, sadhana chatushtaya, acquire the qualifications. Nitya, Nitya vastu,
Viveka, Vairagya.
Yes, Yaha, Amurta, Palabhoga, Viraga, and Shamadamadi, Shatka, Sampatti, Mumukshatvam.
Wow.
So these things should be there. Patanjali also never misses that. And in fact, he emphasizes more on this preparation. And
Abhyasa and Vairagya, what Patanjali
absolutely,
says.
yes, very clearly, much before he talks of anything, he talks about how you should prepare your mind. And a well-prepared mind, other higher steps actually just common sense. It simply falls in line.
So I have one question when you are talking about the preparedness of the mind. So you have been somebody who had been practicing for decades together, years together, and you have been teaching thousands of people everything, and who have been doing various classes and everything. Do you still prepare before you go and teach, or is just like that you go and then you just appear and then do your tricks there?
Well, see, what is, it is not that if I say that every class I sit and prepare, it is wrong. Some of these things have, over practice, it has somewhat become a second nature. If you start one series, it will go on. But it's also wrong to say I don't prepare. Because always I try to update myself, read the scriptures again, and again. I keep on reading, because that reinforcement is very essential. Till a point, by God's grace, if you can reach, hopefully, that state where, say, not that we stop preparing, preparation itself will stop coming to us. That is the state. So this is, I remember Sage Ramana's statement. Sage Ramana, he was a great Bhagavan. He never used to do any Sandhya Vandana and all those things. So one of his relatives apparently was not doing Sandhya Vandana and things like that. And one of these devotees asked him, why are you not doing? Then he said, no, Bhagavan Ramana doesn't do, why should I do? Then this was told to Bhagavan, and Bhagavan quietly said, oh, is that so? See, you, Sandhya Vandana, you should not leave. A time will come when Sandhya Vandana itself will leave you.
Leaves you.
Till then you have to do.
I think even Ramakrishna Paramhamsa
Yes. These
mentioned
stories
the
are
same.
told.
In fact, the
Yes,
very starting of the Gospel of Ramakrishna starts with
absolutely,
this dialogue of Sri Ramakrishna.
absolutely. Same thing. All great men have said that when you are, depending upon your status, you have to do what is necessary. You cannot neglect. So by God's grace and the grace of Guru, I definitely not stop learning, keep preparing. But when it comes to that day's class, yes, I start, and by habit, it goes on following some sequence. But definitely, yes, preparation that way, I think, is
Yeah. Why I
necessary.
asked is because nowadays we have so many mushrooming, young yoga teachers, who are coming up every day. They just go finish some course for 1 month, 2 months, and then tomorrow they have the certificate. They start, and they think, why before going to class, I look at a YouTube video, Dr. Omkar's video is there, or Guruji's video is there. I just see it and go and do the class.
No, I tell you, when now I remember my most revered Mahaperiyava.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Indira Gandhi met him, and she raised this question, Bhagavan, now what can the government do? Because there are a lot of, pseudo spiritual teachers that are mushrooming. What do you think the government should do? Paramacharya kept quiet, and there was some devotees had given a lot of mangoes in a basket. And he called one of his devotees and said, you call the child she's playing there. That yard, some child was playing, and she was called. Paramacharya told the child, pick up a mango. So that she did so many things, they smelled, etc. Then picked up a ripe mango and went. Said, take it, go. Then Paramacharya turned to Srimati Indira Gandhi and told her, see, this is what happens. Government need not do anything. Nobody need bother about anything. By over time, people know how to choose the right thing. Nothing is going to happen. Don't worry. This is the way world is running. This is the way world is going to run. But ultimately, on one occasion or the other occasion, people will choose the right things. So we don't need to do anything. So I think this is what it is. And this has been going on, ever since. This is not a new problem. I appreciate your concern, but that's okay.
In fact, I was about to ask, something about Paramacharya, because in the beginning, when we were discussing about Guruji, BKS Iyengar, the other Guru was Paramacharya. And I come from a lineage, a family where we are indebted to Paramacharya a lot, and our life centered around him. So nice, I have a beautiful portrait of Paramacharya here sitting always in the yoga center. Yes, so I was about to ask something about him, and before that, as a coincidence, you yourself quoted an incident from him and shared. That was overwhelming.
Oh, with him there are so many incidents. We can go on and on. Such a wonderful. To me, he is a living God.
Yes. Not only to you, to thousands and thousands of people. Many. Today, he lived physically for 100 years, but even after that, today people are feeling his presence, and he is doing miracles around.
Yes. My only preparation, I should tell you now, is to bow to him. Wow. That's all. I don't think much. I simply bow to him, and he will take care.
Wonderful, sir. That is the Guru Bhakti which we should always have. That is something important. I have seen with all great teachers like you, even though you grow to great heights, but you never forget the roots.
No great heights. That's why we should keep on looking at the life of such great sages. Then it will always make us feel humble.
In fact, one such incident I remember from Kanchi Shankaracharya Paramacharya, that always we call Paramacharya as a Jagat Guru Shankaracharya Swamiji. And we have now so many Jagat Gurus everywhere around, but he was somebody extraordinary. When somebody asked him, you are called as Jagat Guru, why are you a Jagat Guru? Are you the Guru for the entire Jagat? But he said, no, it is because I learned from the entire Jagat. Jagat is Guru for me, and therefore I am.
True. This happened in Kashi.
Yeah.
Yes, very true, very true. I mean, they are of such, they're amazing. Yes.
Thank you so much. We had such wonderful, discussions. Last but not the least, one I would like to know about the students program that you have been doing, because students are the future generation of this country and for the humanity. So your concern about them is amazing, because the Surya program has reached, I think, lakhs of students and benefited.
Yeah, we
so
did
how
that.
did you, conceive that, and how do you, take it ahead?
Well, those were the days when there were no these kind of facilities like WhatsApp, all this Google, nothing was there. Smartphones were not there. Therefore, we started printing a small book from our trust. That is, so there we had Yama Niyama and Surya Namaskara. So Yama Niyama linked to Surya Namaskara. There are 10, 5 plus 5 Yama Niyamas, and for 10 postures of sun salutation. We just linked, and each principle was explained with one story so that students can understand. And we distributed about 2.5 lakhs books.
Wow.
All over the state, and in Andhra we did. It is also in Telugu, English, Kannada. In Braille also we printed.
Wow.
We distributed that. And now, well, because now the media is quite powerful. Now what I am doing is that I am doing a program called Postures 2, Morals 2. So every day I am doing that. If you go to my, now I think 53 episodes we have completed. Same thing we are doing in Kannada also. Eradu Matu, Eradu Asana.
Wow.
So that is the thing. So there I am talking about some of these great people. Now I am doing a series on Vivekananda. I did a series on my Guruji BKS Iyengar. So these things I am putting on my YouTube channel, Yoga with Omkar, so that anybody can use this. So this is only 8 to 10 minutes capsule. Students are taught one simple posture. Then we narrate a interesting, inspiring episode from the life of great people like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, etc., so that it should motivate the youth. So that is something that I am doing now.
Very, very nice, sir. And we are entering the season of the Yoga Day. I think this year it is going to be. This year is going to be, kind of
good.
people to do from home. Everybody in home,
good,
and
that's
something
nice.
We can't go and do thing. In fact, I remember to share with the other friends who are watching it. Much before even the official declaration of Yoga Day could happen in the year 2015, the first ever Yoga Day could start. In Bangalore, we had Yoga Day, which we celebrated in 2014, June 21st, by the direction of Guruji BKS Iyengar and Dr. Nagendra Guruji. Dr. Omkar was one of the persons who were there with us, and Dr. Raghavendra Pai, who had joined with us 2 days back. We were all together on stage, did the 108 Surya Namaskara in the BMS college grounds.
Correct.
That was much before the world got to know that June 21st is the Yoga Day. So we were all together to commemorate it. So I remember those good memories.
Nice thing. Yes. Nowadays have changed. I think new way of doing things we have to get used to. And no doubt, yes, because of these things, you see what you are doing is a wonderful work. You see, you are reaching so many people without much of the problems. It also gives that comfort of one, being in one place, because these days, even Bangalore, going from one place to another place is quite tiresome, many times discouraging also. But you are using the technology wonderfully well for a good purpose.
I think in those days, that's what the tapas which the rishis did. They did not move around. They were staying in one place, and they were acquiring the knowledge of the whole world, being there and doing tapasya. Now we were running around. Now the time has come to do this swadhyaya, that we sit in one place and do the tapasya. I think we take the challenges as opportunities to learn from the challenges and calamities.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful, joyous participation. We could learn a lot, like from the Guruji to your journey, and then how you took science and yoga together, then sports and yoga together, and your unique teachings to the students, and reaching even to the younger generation, the student community, So lot man, we could learn about so many Mahatmas like Kanchi Paramacharya and Guruji and Patanjali, especially brought out the wonderful aspects of Samyama and various meditative techniques of Patanjali from the Yoga Sutra, and its relevance that even today, it's not just somewhere it is olden text, but even today it is relevant. And we also learned the scope that there are a lot of scope for further research to take it up. And
yeah, very much.
So many young aspirants who are watching this who want to take up their research. We have such wonderful Margadarshaka, Dr S N Omkar ji is with us.
No, not Margadarshaka. It's all teamwork. You're all there. We will all get together. We will all move together for the better.
That's what the Veda says. Sangachatvam samvadatvam.
Yeah, absolutely.
The last part, we have a rapid fire question for you.
Yes, sir,
I would ask some random words I would say connected to yoga and what work you're doing. So whatever randomly you could think of, just in one word that you should say it, sir.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Yeah, Guruji, BKS Iyengar.
Great.
Kanchi Shankaracharya, Paramacharya.
My God.
Science
is also yoga.
Yoga
is a great science.
Aeronautics.
Flying high.
Cricket.
Always on your guard.
Corona
makes you transform to better.
Wow. Post-corona.
Please hold on to good learnings of corona.
Yoga day.
Always, every day, celebrate.
The biggest misconception in yoga.
Misconception in yoga cannot exist if you follow proper text.
The greatest boon of yoga.
Chitta vritti nirodha. You are always calm, no matter whatever happens. Even in the face of corona, you are not disturbed.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all these wonderful, quick, rapid insights that you could give. So it was amazing time we had with you. I hope that the yoga community, the yoga students and enthusiasts, sadhakas, learned a lot from your discussion today, and may all of them apply all those and try to grow more and more in their sadhana.
May Lord Patanjali bless all of us. Thank you very much, Subu bhaiya. Thank you for this wonderful program.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Namaste.
Friends,
my namaste to all the viewers. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Tomorrow we have yet another wonderful session. We're going to discuss more with, in fact, so far, if you have seen for all the 10 days, it was male domination, both from my side as well as the others. We're all male. Tomorrow we're going to have an inspiring yogini, Dr. Meena Ramanathan, an excellent academician in the field of yoga. She has very rich experience in teaching the special children, introducing a lot of research aspects for teaching yoga in special children as well as the geriatric population for senior citizens, what she calls a silver yoga. So we're going to have wonderful discussion on how yoga can help with special children as well as mainly senior citizens. In fact, they are also children. Senior citizens are also like children. So please join with us tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Kaapi, a kashaya with a yogi. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.